Happy New Year, and welcome to the January 2022 edition of Canola Quick Bytes, brought to you by the U.S. Canola Association. Capitol Hill. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency issued its regulatory agenda for upcoming actions, and the canola renewable diesel petition was included, with a proposed rule in January 2022 and final rule by July. Timelines from the EPA are often missed, but all indications are that it is moving forward on the U.S. Canola Association petition. The California Air Resources Board, a regulatory body that administers the state's low-carbon fuel standard, published a provisional carbon intensity score for canola-based renewable diesel produced at the Phillips 66 facility in Rodeo, California. The provisional scores are used until 24 months of production data are available. Canola's carbon intensity score of 51.87 units is better than soy renewable diesel, which has two values of 54.68 and 58.16, depending on how the feedstock is transported to California. The lower the carbon intensity score, the better. Renewable diesel demand and future markets for sustainable aviation fuels and the feedstocks needed to produce them, including canola, continue to generate a lot of interest, speculation, and analysis. On December 7th, the EPA released its overdue proposed rule for renewable fuel standard volumes for 2022 with a mixed bag of biofuel interests. The proposed volumes are near the expected demand level for this year. On the positive side, the EPA proposed increasing the overall biofuel volumes for 2022 and denied 65 pending waiver requests submitted by refiners. However, it also proposed retroactively reducing the biofuel volumes required for refiners in 2020. The EPA had previously extended the deadline for refiners to comply with the 2020 and 2021 volume requirements due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It is now proposing to reduce the volumes for 2020. On the same day, the U.S. Department of Agriculture announced $800 million in funding assistance for biofuel producers in response to losses incurred as a result of the pandemic. Prior to adjourning for the year, Congress passed another continuing resolution to keep the government operating at fiscal year 2021 levels through February 18, 2022. It is hoped that fiscal year 2022 appropriations bills will be passed rather than defaulting to a continuing resolution for the entire year. The Build Back Better bill that Democrats were hoping to enact remains stalled. The package passed by the House includes $28 billion in agricultural conservation funding and $2 billion in agricultural research funding. Agronomy. How can you add planters to your canola production strategy? Unlike drills, planters add precision depth, seed placement, and seed spacing. Doug Moisey of Pioneer Seeds Canada says that row spacing is the first of several considerations for planter success. He recommends setting a maximum of 15 inches to each row, along with an 11-inch spacing to start. Other considerations include weed management, because wider spaces allow more room for weeds to grow along with crops. Overall, the key to planter success with canola is focusing on eliminating variability in emergence. Nutrition. Did you know that canola meal is one of the most widely used protein sources for livestock? That's because of its excellent amino acid profile, which studies show boosts milk production in dairy cows. Canola protein is now also being produced for human nutrition to meet growing demand for plant-based proteins. Learn more at uscanola.com. Other country news. In 2021, Canadian canola was among several crops that dropped in production due to droughts. The adverse weather caused production to drop more than 33% to its lowest level since 2007 at 12.6 million tons nationally. Canadian barley and wheat also took a hard hit in 2021. The Canadian government is investing big in the Canola Council of Canada to, quote, help the industry proactively address and resolve trade barriers in international markets, foster market diversification, as well as build the value and reputation of canola around the world through activities, unquote. Through its agri-marketing program, the government is expected to invest 1.8 million Canadian dollars. With matching industry funding, investments are expected to bring the total to 3.6 million Canadian dollars. Latest industry news. The Northern Canola Growers Association held its 24th annual Canola Expo in Langdon on December 14th. Enthusiasm was high among growers with the current market prices for canola and the rosy outlook for the oilseed market. Mike Kruger was the keynote speaker, and Ron Benetta, longtime canola expert, moderated a panel of growers about their success planting canola in wider row spacings with decreased seeding rates. Growers represented all areas of the state. Dr. Sven Chapara and Jan Nodal gave presentations on clubroot and insect control. 3 members were re-elected to the NCGA Board of Directors during its recent annual meeting: Troy Ronfo of Calvin, Dan Marcourt of Bottineau, and Zach Jacobson from Langdon. About the USDA. The U.S. Canola Association is planning to hold a board meeting March 7th through 9th in Washington, D.C. The tentative schedule includes a welcome reception on the evening of Monday, March 7th, a full-day meeting on March 8th, followed by a board dinner, and congressional office visits on Wednesday, March 9th. The USDA welcomes new industry board member Ceres Global Ag of Golden Valley, Minnesota. In May 2021, Ceres announced it will build a new canola crush facility at its existing site in Northgate, Saskatoon, Canada. Construction will begin in spring 2022 and be completed by 2024. Ceres intends to provide low carbon intensity feedstocks to the expanding biofuels market and high-quality feed products to livestock producers. Get social with the USDA on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Want to promote your products or services to canola producers and industry members? Visit our advertising pages to find specs, deadlines, and rates to advertise in this monthly e-newsletter and podcast or on uscanola.com. Again, Happy New Year and thanks for listening.